This is the fourth video of a 28 video series of a detail on a 2019 Mini Cooper Clubman. In this video, cleaning the wheels. This is a very satisfying part of the detail. And if you don't do it properly, it really shows up at the end when the rest of the car is clean. The wheels are not properly cleaned. So this is a part of the detail that I spend a lot of time on, and I like to do it as thoroughly as possible. So if I don't remove the wheels from the car, I use the jack as so, and like the jack up area where I'm cleaning the wheel. Of course, you want to block off the other wheels so the car doesn't roll. And jacking the car up allows you to spin the wheel around. So quite often, in between the wheel and the caliper will not get cleaned. And this is the part that really sticks out in the end when you have a patch of contamination that didn't get cleaned behind the caliper. So this way you can spin the wheel around and clean every part. Filling up the foam sprayer. This is IronX SnowSoap. And I'll also use it later for pre-wash on the car. This is the IK foamer. Produces a lot of foam. Quite convenient and easy to move around the four wheels, so I usually use this on the wheels. With the wheel area jacked up, it's easy to access the wheel housing, so I use the pressure washer to get as much loose dirt out as possible. You'd be surprised how much sand and how many rocks are in there. And as much as you can remove with the pressure washer, really helps later with reducing the amount of chemicals you need to clean it. And again, with the wheel, as much as you can remove with the pressure washer, you can see the black brake dust coming out. And I haven't even used chemicals yet, so as much as you can get off with just the pressure washer, I think it always helps. As you can see, I'm spinning the wheel so you can get the top as much as the bottom. Quite often, if you can't see the top part of the wheel, you can miss some brake dust or contamination up there. As you can see, as I turn it, more and more contamination comes out. It's just much easier to see all parts of the wheel this way. Okay, so now I'm going with IronX SnowSoap 1 to 20 and the IK foamer. Produces lots of suds as well. I like to use suds, particularly just for the lubrication. But also lubrication is also dependent on shampoo that you're using, so foam is not the only factor here. And here I'm going with the wheel brush to try to get in the back. I like to start at the top of the wheel and work down one side, and then I'll go back to the top and go down the other side. This way you're not bringing dirt up, you're always flushing the dirt down. And when you agitate the iron follower remover, it helps to loosen the iron. Just spraying it on and rinsing off is really not quite enough. You really should agitate it to loosen the iron bits. I'm using the pressure washer to clean off the brush. Don't like to stick it in the bucket after cleaning, just puts contamination in the bucket. So after I clean it, I return it to the bucket for the next wheel. Here I'm using a little, it's like a 4-finger wool mitt. I really like this mitt because you can get in behind the spokes of the wheel. And it's easy to rinse off the dirt as well. As you can see, like getting into the back of the spokes, you can see there's a lot of contamination coming out. So if you didn't remove that, it's going to be there for a long time and possibly never be removed and damage the wheels. That little wash mitt is made of wool, so I find it's quite soft on gloss black wheels or particularly sensitive paint. So here I'm just going to go with the lug nut area. Just an initial cleaning here. I'll inspect after. This brush I'm using is a synthetic fiber brush. It's quite soft. Basically, just want to agitate the shampoo in there. Now there's some tiny holes in the wheels. I'm just going to go with IronX. I use this little cotton swab just to agitate it. And you'll see a lot of contamination comes out there. This is probably a part of the wheel that really gets neglected even after it's coated. So any kind of tool you have, like a cotton swab, is really helpful once in a while to clean those areas. Now I'm checking how much contamination is in the wheel well. It's a little more soap, and now I'm just going to use a wash mitt that I use only for wheel wells. Give it a good scrub. Most of the plastics used in wheel wells, it's fairly easy to clean. If you clean it and coat it, it's even better. Okay, here I'm going to clean the tire. I'm using MultiX. You can use MultiX 1 to 20, 1 to 10. And I'm using a fairly hard brush that I just bought at the one at the end shop. So it's important to brush the wheel in multiple directions, especially if the tire has grooves. And the first time you wash it, the suds should be kind of a brown color if the contamination is really bad. And then I always do it a second time and make sure the suds are white, and then I know that the tire is clean then. And if you're putting any kind of tire dressing on, this is a really important step for durability. If you want durability from a tire dressing, if the tire is dirty, it's not going to bond with the tires. It's just going to, put a coating onto the dirt, so it's not going to last. So this is the second time I go with MultiX on the tire. And I think you'll notice that the foam is a little more white this time. So with the tire free spinning like this, it's quite easy, and I think it just makes the job a lot faster. Okay, rinse that off as much as possible. But I used a microfiber after this just to make sure that nothing is clinging to the surface. Sometimes the pressure washer is not enough and you'll find it later. But if you do it with a microfiber cloth, you can just inspect and see if you're pulling any more contamination off. Just another way to check. Here I'm trying to go after the caliper. It's a little bit difficult with the wheel on, but I'm just trying to show how much is possible. So you can see IronX. Just with the spray, you can see a lot of the brake dust runs off. So IronX is quite concentrated, so even if the wheel is wet or the body is wet, it's because it's concentrated. It's really effective. So you don't have to worry so much about applying it to an already wet part of the car. Just doing basically, since I've washed most of the grime off here and just letting it dwell for a little bit, and you can see how much brake dust is still on the wheel. And later I'll remove this wheel and coat it. So and after using chemicals on the wheels, I always like to use car shampoo and just wash off and just make sure there's no chemical left on the wheel.